When I lined the pool up, I also lined up the planter pots. I'll move the planter boxes again. I know I call them flower pots. You're going to have to get over it. All right, so let's line it up. Now, these are two images. Let's zoom one out. Let's clear one out, rather. Opacity, you call it. So this is the drain in that box. This is the existing parking spaces. As you can see, this is like 9.3, and this is 9 foot. So cars come in, we see them parked, they back in. They back in, they come down here, and they start turning around here, then they back the car all the way up into here like that, right? Of course not. They come in, if the spot is open, they come whoop and whoop back up. So doing that cycling over 40 years, they're loading a column that's over here by itself. I have some very interesting stuff to give you here, but I don't know if I'll make it all in this video. Well, let's do the overlay right about there. So there's our column in the background right there. Let's see if I can bring it up a little more. Okay, I can bring it up a little bit more. There we go. So there's a column in the background. There's our other column. It's offset. You see, remember I talked about these offset column deals. We get a little more, a few inches there. We have a planter box weight here. We have a planter box weight here. It's a constant. These planter boxes appear to be larger in size than the planter boxes here. More weight, 80 plus pounds. Don't worry about this overlay. This is just how he's stamped there. We worried about the, the other things like, well, this alignment here is more in line. He's got his jacuzzi off on this one too, and I scaled it, so it should be about the same. That's why the pool overlaid. So it looks like they got a little location issue with his mapping of his jacuzzi, where the mapping comes out to. So we have the this opening. This opening is right by this column. This column, I keep coming back to it. It's one of the columns I come back to because I think it's the only one that presents as bent, broken over. It's not going to be easy to find. Give me 1 second. So I do this. Let me clear up some stuff here. I need the other stuff open. Yep, I need the other stuff open right now. So this is that column here. And I took liberty here. This is the pool deck. And there's where the BMA is supposed to have been. It's not there. But I wanted to show the cars come up. They load this side. Well, theoretically, engineering-wise, the load between here and here is shared across. But it's also where the car came to a stop, shares the load over to this side, onto the pool deck area, if you will. The only thing dividing that is the planter boxes. The planter boxes being of their own weight, consistent weight. I have a lot of stuff here. I got to get it right. I'm going to find this test that NIST is using to sound the property. And what happens is they put a little device here and they tap over here. Part of his problem was he was on his knees doing the tapping, and that creates a new profile when he taps on the concrete also. It's part of a deadening, a cushioning of the concrete around it, because the loads will go towards his knee also, the vibration. So he shouldn't be on his knees. He should be, consistently coming up with the same. His stooping location should be consistently the same from his pounding location, even where he places the box. I want to find you that exact testing tool to show you how specific it is. With that said, this would be the knee or the box. Here, the car comes up. It's where the forces want to wind up making a plane. And between these two boxes, we have an opening. We have an opening. We have an opening. Oh, okay, that didn't work out as good as I thought it would. We have an opening. Between these two boxes, we have an opening. So this is the rebar that's went across the ceiling, and it's bent up like that. That means when this went down, it it was able to still hold onto the ceiling and bend itself over a bit right at this plane. I've got a lot of surprises in this video, so just bear with me. You know I have to play dumb a little bit. So, we have our opening here. This is that bent column. We can't quite see it in this image. It's one column right about here. The only one that's bent over. The weight of this bent it over. I find that very peculiar in that nothing else was able to be bent over. Let's see what's next to it. So let's talk about the cameras. Improved security in office, front desk, and package room. Non-functional cameras replaced. This is page 9 of 83, and the report, one of the reports. So they appear that they've got functional cameras. On page, and at that time, 611. You remember 611 is that lady that noticed the cracks and got out of there. Michael Hansen was I believe the owner of 611 as of 10/14/2020. He was on the meeting, the online meeting they had. He exited, joined time and exited time at 12:33. He then sold his place to the new lady thereafter, or was it for sale before? I don't know. I'd like to know how long he had it for sale. Was it after this meeting or before this meeting? What information should he have had disclosed based on him? When did he sell? So, interesting enough, I'm not giving legal advice, but disclosure-wise, I don't know what legal disclosure for Florida is, but did he put his property for sale after this meeting? And if so, was that disclosure 100% full? Was it full on why he was really selling the defects, or what was he selling for? Why after this meeting, or was he selling before? So find the timeline of 611, and then now you have, and then see if you can get hold of that. Yeah, why not? It's in good faith. Get hold of the seller, the buyer, the new lady who's alive, and ask her about her disclosure. If you guys are reporters, of course, I'm asking reporters, not general public. So reporters to get hold of her and ask her, can we see your disclosure? I don't know if they have to disclose all that, but structural defects, well, they talked about in this meeting. Get hold of this meeting. It was one of those online meetings. See if you can see the recording. See if Michael Hansen asked questions. See if anyone else has questions that he would have listened to during this time period that would have answered his question before he even asked it, up to 12:33 when he exits. This should be very telling about 611 and people, right? So that is that meeting, October 14th, 2020 at 7 p.m. It was a Zoom meeting, and as I understand, these Zoom meetings are can be hacked into and everything else. There is the webinar number, and there's the password. I am not sure if you can still get access this webinar and meeting. So we right-click, we open a new tab. I don't have Zoom. Tom, you and I Zoom before, but I don't have it. So for you reporters, or any of you guys want to get real frisky and do this one, there you are. I don't know if you can still pull it up and see the minutes, etc. It talked about quite a few things, but you guys can go there now. Let's go over to the structural field survey. He did reference the 11/27/1979 plans. The A1 through A30 prepared by William Friedman. There's 79 plans. He referenced them. He also referenced the structural plans. All right, from 79. So everyone is saying that he's only referencing the current plans, the updates. Well, that's not true. To assist our office in the review of this project, MC has reviewed the following documents. So to me, that shows that those 79 documents have the BMA in it. That would be, where the hell is it? So the 79 documents have the, so this is Chrome, has the, I'm going to do that another time. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Where are you? I need to shrink it. Shrink it. It's to be two of them up here. Where are you? All right. So the 70. So that's one version. Let's go over one. All right. That's that one. This is my butterfly. We're going to hit that. It's going to be a little bit longer video, but not that long. Well, you never know with me, do you? Okay. So there's our initial document that I grabbed the overlay from. It's right by, you know what? I know what I want to do. Where the hell are you? Yeah. So I show that. Okay. And that's that column over there. That's where the BMA was supposed to be, right about there. And that's our flower box. So as you look at the flower box, and there it is here, there's the flower box. There's the column there. There's supposed to be a BMA going down here, all the way to the wall, across, well, continuous. Well, I don't know if continuous, but when you say, depends how they secured it. But a continuous flow, how's that? So from here to here, all the way over to this wall, and there was another BMA going across here that it was going to sit on top of. That would have allowed the deck loading to transfer and the step elevation to happen from the deck from 1010 to 1110 to take place. But it would allow the loading of the vehicles, and I want to talk about that right now. This deck was designed per the original design, 1979, to take 40 pounds per square foot live load. That's it. As soon as they put the tile on there, that tile depth and all exceeds the limits. It exceeds it. In some places, it exceeds it just by weight alone. In some places, it exceeds it as soon as someone steps on the deck. You're above your 40 pounds per square foot. So in some places, it's very thin. In some places, it's so thick that it already exceeds the live load limits, and so you basically have a permanent live load on there. It becomes a dead load, but now you can't even go on a damn pool deck because it's now got your 40 pounds per square foot. In reality, it exceeds it even more than that. That deck is, they added 9.5 inches. They added about 5 inches of material sometimes. And that stuff is way up there, somewhere probably around 60 pounds per square foot. Now, we already talked about the car decking. This pool decking was 40 pounds per square foot over here. And that's a major issue there. Now, I've seen other people send me links saying, the other engineers are saying that that all reinforcement was to be added, half-inch rebar to be added, bottom half-inch reinforcement added. If you're watching my channel, I'd tell you to go back to look at the notes again. It says we're noted to add the bottom reinforcement. The guys, the engineer that did this switcheroo things was very crafty in his wording. He says we're noted. I find we're noted only in one place. It would be somewhere about right out here, right outside here somewhere. It says noted, and that's coming off of the wall where you add the extra bottom reinforcement, because it says we're noted. It's right about here somewhere in the plans if you look. The rest is not noted. Now let's talk about the punch shearing. I've determined that these configuration that they show 16 direction this way and 19 that direction, that was part of their punch shear protection above each column. How am I so confident in making that decision is this one right here. It's the only one without the details around it showing punch shearing. So here's punch shearing. What I'm saying is punch shearing protection details, the 16 by 5s and whatever it may be. This one doesn't have it. Why? Because a BMA was supposed to sit on top of it. A BMA was sitting on top of it, so no punch shear was needed. It was redundant, and the column was going to take the beam across. And yes, I say beam and column interchangeably. I stand corrected. They're columns and they're beams, but I use them as beams invert it a lot of times. So Again, there's no car. This is at the parking garage at this point. This is what you observe at the down below. I did like an overlay from top down and how it would look. So in this case, but I also double dipped and talked to you about car loading over here and how it will be facing that direction on the top deck. So that would be here again, the BMA. That's that flower pot right here. So let's orient yourself again. See, there's no column over here. This is the where noted part back further back, not over here. This plane would have been dealt with here with the step elevation, the BMA would have been dealt with the reinforcement. It says 11 number 4s. This one out here says 12 number 4s, 20 foot number 4s. I'm sorry, 21 number 4s, 20 number 4s. Sorry for saying foot. Sometimes you do say inches, like over here. See, so that's where I'm reading too fast instead of processing correctly. These are 12-inch on centers. I think that's the 5/8 coming out of that wall. I got a surprise for you and we should get to it shortly. And he's clicking my little clicks here. So there's what we have with that flower pot. That's the only one that's fractured that I find fractured. It's the one I find fractured. It's the one I also pick on right now, saying it's in front of K, and it's my most favorite structurally weakened column. If you guys can go online, you would find it right here. This one is the one that's further out. So this one is, nope, this is one more further out. One more further out. This is in the pot still. Head of KBMA. Oh, I said this is it then. Why am I saying that? 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I do this stuff. Maybe I decide that was the BMA that's connected to it because of the head shape. I figure I'm not quite clear. I don't see the rest of my notes on this one. This is the plumb and slightly bent. Talking about the rebar, not the column. But this one is bent over. That's my bias. Nope. That's my bias. That's my bias deal right here. Right here. Bent over. Plan on boxes, car. The loading, as I told you, comes this direction. There's a easy to create a fracture line here between this hole and the deck, because they probably didn't reinforce it like they did the openings here. They did them over here. They did them a few places reinforced real well. I can't imagine they did it real well here. I don't find that web of puncture protection that's in the drawings. All right, so this is what I wanted to show you. The back side of it, I have an image of it, not in this video though, so we're gonna miss that part. But this held on, ripped it, bent it over, and you can see the way it went. But this is plumb. This is the only one that's bent. I've got the most torque action right here. This means it held on the most, or it was pushed over. And the ferrous also could have been cracked by a car because the car was coming that way. But I don't have the fracture. I don't have a car underneath it here to indicate that. So there's the fracture, and we don't have a car lifting up the area here to support. I mean, it looks like a car on the back wall, but we don't have a car here that would create a crown in the deck. And we know they create crowns in decks. When we saw a 950-ton bridge from FIU fall directly on vehicles, they crown the deck. They create the multiple fractures. So this stood no chance to not crown if a car was underneath. In other words, it's the driveway right here. There's no car underneath of it, so it's on the ground. It's down there. It's being held up here a bit, possibly by a car back there now, along that plane. Over this side, I think cars are on this plane. So let's go down. Here it is without me writing over top of it. So there's that one about plum. And I talked about the scratch marks and things like that. It looks like it's the little rabbit ears come around over here, horns, whatever you want to call them. This one being, see the heads, how they're taken off? See how this head is different of all the heads? This head's got me. This is that one. I think it's the head that's the on the BMA, and I forgot why. I'm so focused thinking it's that. Took quite a few images of it. Let's look at it this way. So it could be this one or this one. If it's this one, it's the way the head is failed is so interesting. So we do see 1, 2, and 3 though. We do see 3. We do see the third one. I don't know why I'm not saying it's that one. I feel like I should be saying it's that one right now. Let's move on. Yeah, I looked at it. You're seeing multiple screenshots of it as I try to get it clear, sharper and sharper. 28. So 28 again, that reinforcement, it just punctured around it. It's not there. 28's over there by the construction joint. See it? There, if you can make it out, those vehicles there. There are vehicles underneath for there. 28, I can't quite, tell what's there, but I want to show you something else. There's 29. There's the firemen. I show the firemen in my video looking out at the vehicles. You can see clearly these vehicles have been, the firemen marked them off as no one's in them. So there's 1, 2, even the third one. There's a mirror right there. You can see all the way back to there from 29, 30. All that, the depth of the car, showing the back of the car, is good to go. And that's why I was able to do that video showing the columns, how the columns are up to that point okay. And then we got a deck separation that falls down. I was hoping someone would catch how I did the deck in a flipped version. No one commented. 31. Okay, so there we have that. This is 31 again. This is that further towards this. Remember, compression pulls things in. So here's your reinforcement. There's some electric. But that shows pretty rusted bar. This is a stirrup around there. That's the stirrup. Again, if this had all that wiring there, it would have cheese grated this apart as it tried to come down. When I say wiring, it's 16 and 19 fives, all within 9 feet if it's scaled correctly. Well, it's not scaled correctly on there. I had to scale it, and it looks like it comes to 1/8 an inch, closer to 1/8 an inch than 3/16. I think they scale it, but it's closer to 1/8. It just looks like an umbrella. Look, the crank for the umbrella. But there again, there's the cars in the background, all the way out to here. So there's another one there. So that line is good to go. That line is good to go. It looks like a bumper got ejected off, so a bit of that floor when it fell down scraped this car. Maybe moved it over. I doubt it. But, it's consideration. It looks like it tore the bumper off, whatever type of car that is. Fractured the bumper. Maybe a piece of rebar came down and whacked it off. Yeah, I said that. So there is our stirrups. We do not have that configuration of the steel. That one's really, I keep looking at. We don't have this. The rebar that was up here, right at the bottom. There's a little piece of it there at the bottom, not inside the construction joint. I keep looking in there. I can't do it. This rebar may appear like it's right here, but it could be just way off, and it's just the angle, the compression again. That's indicating of something. I don't know whether it's some type of a ceiling repair. See, I think this was over here, and there was some of the mesh came off and some didn't. So it looks like some mesh repair was done there on the ceiling around 31. You guys can Google that. See if you can find a repair on the ceiling. There's another piece of mesh here. So it looks like they did some surface restoration underside around 31, I would guess. This reinforcement here. I don't see this reinforcement in the schedule of the drawing, so I don't think it's not original. So I think this is a repair So repair here, here, and here, and this is biasly so, right along my plane of fracture going down the middle. So I'll come back to that. Yeah, I know it's not clear, but I can see what appears to be reinforcement here, here, and then this is more turned over. So this released sooner as it was trying to go down. It broke the top of it off. It spalled the top of the concrete off, released, and let the deck fall. This held on longer, was able to bend it around. The concrete was able to bend it around. There's another version of it. Concrete, that side. Of course, we got our alleyway valley. Again, here's another shot of it. We have this head that's so different than the other heads, and it's right about the planter box, or it's the in front of that one version there. This I looked at many times, can't quite be sure. I think it's the BMA because I think this might be the planter box on top. I can't tell from this angle. You know, you got to be careful. You start seeing ghosts. It looks like it's underneath for the grass, right? So underneath for underneath of, what do you call this? The shrubbery imagery. Now, remember, these images are pretty close then. They came out afterwards, and they got quickly into the equipment. This is a very interesting image. It's my bias wall. I'm teasing you right now because I'm taking my time, you know, the way I do it. I like for you guys to see it before I say it. How many of you see what I'm going to say before I say it? Look at the fireman here. I mean, what is he? Come on, guys. I'm pulling the Columbo on you. I got right hand, left hand. I'm doing a right hand, left hand on you. I really don't want you to look at this guy. I want you guys to still pay attention. Still pay attention. Look at his feet. He's staying on the ground there. Bald head guy like myself. They got different color hats. Come on, have you got it yet? There's my fractured wall plane, right? Late at night action. All right, I'm going to give it up. Look at the bottom there. Beautifully spaced. Beautifully spaced reinforcement. Now, it's not vertical reinforcement going into the block wall. Nobody does it like that. So it's not vertical reinforcement going into the block wall. And it's been pulled over. This wall's been pulled over. That's right where my broken damn fracture is. My column, this one, is fractured. That wall is right about here. It's tied in. It's really anchored back to here is what I'm trying to explain to you. It is really anchored back to there because it pulled it away. It stripped it away. It didn't just break free. So they really did one bang up of a job there to anchor there, and it pulled the deck. I think they're sitting on top of the deck, and possibly the walkway out here. It pulled it and slid it over. Slid this bad boy over. There's where we get some buckling there, some compression thing, and also when it rotated went down, is where we get then on the pushing outwards. It's interesting. It's almost like a curve, like they did it. Like there's a fracture, like a break there. Remember, we have a bulkhead wall here, steel though. This is very stable where they are. Let's move away from that. Oh, rebar and back wall. Okay, yeah, that's one of my images. All right, so we're back to this damn thing again, right there, and that could be the back of the BMA going across that way right there. See the back? I mean, you can start seeing ghosts with me. It looks like this is thicker and then it's thinner up top there. And there's the planter box going that direction. So that would be L's BMA. This one would be, you know, if I'm seeing ghost or not. So let's go down the ghost line. So that would be this one. This one right here. Planter box in front. Yeah, I did that. So there's the BMA right here, right? Now let me get you the planter box. Let's pull that other one in for the planter box now. So it would be this planter box and a BMA here on the angle that's fractured away and up. So right in front should be our other column. Right in front, we should, if you know, images wise, we should be able to find it. but I want you to see what I'm doing here. Right there. Look at the drains. The drains are right by the damn columns again. And this one's on the column. So if you find the drains, and this guy's drawings are pretty damn good, the drain box for M, this is KLM. Oops. KLM? Yeah, and then that's in. So, and Anos also has it. They put the drain box right next to the columns. This one's in there too. So your planter boxes are over the columns, and the drains are right by the columns. So, you know, how stable they are, I don't know. I don't know how stable that was over those years. Let's go back to the ghost. There's the planter box. It could have pushed in, and it could have been connected to this planter box further out here. So our column would be here. So this would be K. This would be L's planter box. So here's the overlay again. So planter box, or is this that planter box? I believe it's this planter box. We see this bent over, and it's pushed up into the air. So deck went down, the column stays where it is, and jacked it off. Yeah, I said that. And then this pushed backwards, and then we're looking at the end of L right there. Let's take a look at that again. It could be ghost, like I said. You know, be careful of my confirmation bias. You start seeing what you want to see. So I believe that's the planter box. There's the column that pushed it through. That was connected up here, perhaps. Slid back. That might be the back of it. And this head is just, you know, I'm still on the fence with this head. This one's going to be very interesting. This one's going to have some awesome stuff for you guys. This one's going to have some awesome stuff for you. We went over this in another video. So this is, you know, they're clearing it. They're marking probably as the real column numbers. These are parking spots, I believe, and I think that might be a real column number. I don't know. I didn't bother looking. But as you look across this, oh, look at that. There's the L-bent 90 reinforcement. L-bent 90 reinforcement. So they did run that 1'6". They did run it up to here and did the change. So there is a shear plane built in here. They didn't just build over top of it. The L would indicate that that's the, it's a, think of them as anchors. The hooks, shapes, the 90, all of them like an anchor. So this is an anchor. And they put the anchors at the ends of at the walls, etc. And then we come down here, we see now how they made it integral, looks like tying into the other side. I don't, probably possibly into that part of the deck there. But there's the, that I'm wondering if these are 90 degree hooks or not. Now I had to change the coloration to help make it stand out more, but there it is. There they are, rather, right? 1, 2, 3, I guess 4, 5. And you put it back up there. But now we're back to that damn, remember it says 6x6 everywhere? I don't quite see 6x6. I see this anchor, so that's good data there. Yeah, so I used something that can also try to find different pixels, and this is what it found. It showed this one and the rebar here. This didn't have enough contrast for it to find it, but this did, and this did not. We can visually see it with our eyes though, but in this one, pixel wise, it could see it. So that's that rebar shape, and it could zone this all off as something of the same shape. And I just picked this area in here. I didn't pick everywhere. I just wanted to define an area here, and this is what it sort of stood out. One of the tricks I do to help me find junk. So again, we have this center line. Fracture. I already talked about how this is so rigid that it did very well on this side. On the other side, it fractured up. Part of that is because of the steel grating and that's connected to it. Here's my column that's bent again. You see the steel grating here. Maybe hit a car. Maybe when this fell down, hit a car there. And I really dove into the fractures on this side. And now I have a better explanation for the fractures, the point loads of the car. So let me see if I can do this for you. So let's do this. Watch. I know I'm going to do one little car thing for you. So car is going to be really weird looking. We're going to do car. So I got to do it all in one plane. Okay, so like this. So I'm going to do tire. And tire. And I'll make it that truck. What the hell? Okay. So then I'm going to do a deck. So let's do the deck, right? So we'll do. I want the card back to that color. So then let's do this. All right. So now I want to grab the car. Look what happens to the tires when I hit the deck. Look what happens to the deck in the middle. If these come down, when they go down, they come to a stop. When they come to a stop, the inertia of this one's still going, the energy, and it wants to press down on those two sides. When it does that, what's it do here? It fractures the deck. It fractures the deck, but not in the middle. It fractures it, right where the points are. So it fractures it there and the other place. So I find back here, when I went back diving into the images there, I could come up with a new depth, a new refinement of what those cracks could be right around the tire zoning area. I don't know if it's going to be in here or not. Oops. So let's just save the image. No, it's not there. So then I go to this one. This is a video. This is the video I did called Champlain Tower Collapse, More Proof Deck was attached to building. So let's go back. And they tied the deck to the side of this. That's me narrating, so I can talk over myself. No big deal. Maybe it goes up to here, and then this is a concrete knee wall, if you will. Blah. All right, so that's my initial July 11th take on it. Still gathering data, so you hear me as I process. All right, so there's the cars. I show that it's made between two columns. I don't have cars like this, right? We got the truck. There's the planter box. Had fun with you guys with the ladder. What was it? Ladder foundation system. That was a joke, of course. There's the waterproofing that you can observe. So there's the vehicle that's tipped over on top of it. This tells you that the fractures, the layers that the fracture there. No, not really. What it tells you is that this is still that overlay. That's the overlay you're looking at. That's that stamp overlay. Huge. The deck still went down. It's still a full deck down on the ground. That's just the overlay you're looking at. So the deck is down, and that's over here is the overlay. But here's the vehicle there. And some reinforcements on there. There's some more puncturing going on around this side, which it deserves its own video, and we'll get to that. Let's see what the guy's saying. Third person. She's somewhere. They're in that garage looking for some lady. Maybe she's over there, way in the far end. Well, that's right. I didn't know where they were looking for her. So let's fast forward up. So you can see the reinforcement. Again, it popped off the edge of the deck here. This lets me do 5 seconds. So again, it's the overlay. So the concrete, the rebar was in the concrete below, and as the concrete fell, it went down. The overlay got popped off by this rebar because it wasn't, it wasn't part of the deck like that. That's what I think. Okay, right about here, I think. Where I look over. See, there's my bent. It gives you that torque action. Remember I said these? It's like all these cars took an elevator ride down. It's like they didn't. There's no sliding into each other. They got brakes on. This might have slid a little bit, but they got parking brakes on, etc. They didn't slide down into each other like I showed you in the parking garage video. A slight bit of rotation. This rotation's driving me crazy. Hold on. Right there. This is where I wanted to show you. Let's see if I can go back 5 seconds. More and more and more. They do a better shot of right down here is what I'm looking for. Let's go from there. I'm broken free underneath of there from here and the weight of these cars. Okay. So hopefully it tilts down there. Almost there. Almost there. It's a better shot of the fracture. It's a better shot of the fracture. Looks like we get 720 or, okay, wow. We got that way up to that high up there. We'll go with 1080. I can get 1080 for us. So if you want to do a screenshot, come this video, hit it at 1080 or 1460, whatever it is, and go ahead and see there's a fracture there, and get the better data out of it. Maybe you'll see something about more than I. All right, there's a slight bit of rub here, so that's that moment that it went forward after it broke free, and it only rubbed for just a few inches, and then equally. This is the critical part here. It's an equal rub. It's flat. It's an elevated sliding rub going down. It's not on an angle like this, an angle and then break and then a rock back around. That is an equal rub down and then a break free. And there's the reinforcement right there. It's exactly what you're seeing. This broke free, rubbed in for a bit, and then broke free. Well, it's always, everything's fine in equilibrium. So I don't want to take forever trying to explain that. But that means it was on a cantilever at that point. Once it broke free, the cantilever had more of a flipping effect of it back over, so it was able to pull it away just for that until it fell down and came to equilibrium again at the ground. There's my fractures right here is what I was trying to show you. And if you look at it, there's a tire there, there's a tire there, and so that would be that moment, that hammer blow, if you will. Let me fast forward. This one's got me. I've got other images of it when they were tearing apart the property. They left it in place, but it was, it's so biased at that point because they removed the cars and they could have moved it over more. This one I just find so damn telling of the story. Going back here, look at that. Alright, so I'm wrapping this up, but on this video, let me see if I can fast forward where I do. There we go. There we go. So now you see the punching of the car tires through the deck. There's a car below it, so the car, it hits, I believe there's a car below it, this one. And then it sits on the roof of the car, compressing it down. That creates the overhang, if you will, by the windshields probably with this vehicle. And that's where your car still has, it can't take that cantilever of the decker material and the forces that came down so abruptly that it fractures it. Also, the deceleration of that car being compressed like a spring slows it down. We have two sides of this column that act like a shear plane. Here's a fracture here, and the fracture there. And again, there's probably another car under here that would help make the distance between here and here, make that fracture pretty easy to come by. This also shows that what happens, this is a dead zone, right, where you don't park. So all the years of cycling, look at the perforation that was created, if you will. Now, this is very biased on my part, confirmation bias. But all the years of cycling in and out, I mean, you can't get a better perforation identification, if you will, than both of these. As these cars pull in next to the column, I'd like to see it over here also, because the column is there also stopping it. They don't have the yellow lines like they have here. People want to stay in the lines, don't they? I don't see it there, but so this one has it. So that's very interesting. Now the overlay of that would be a box. So the overlay of that column with this column here has the planter boxes. So the cars pull in, they stop. They pull in, they stop. You see one guy backed in the truck, so he's doing this. He's loading this side and then backing in. The other one's turning right on in, and then they're backing out. So they still you're still not going to back all out the garage. Still going to do a reversal, which means you're going to put on brakes and go that way and stress the cycle of deck. But coming through here, applying the brakes, cycling that line right here. Coming through here, cycling the line right across this edge, right through there. Gives you that amazing little perforation. I think I'm going to end the video with that. I think it's long enough for us today. And love you all. Hope you enjoy it. This is some ghost you want to look at. Oh, where's the ghost go? There's the punch. I don't see my ghost. Oh, different angle. Different angle. I'll leave you with that ghost. I don't see a column on that side. Don't get confused with the laminate, the overlay rather, with the real decking. That's down here, the structural decking. That's the overlay, which I think exceeded the load capabilities just on its own by adding the overlay. I said I think that. That means my opinion. And here are the ghosts. I'll leave you with the ghost. The ghost of Christmas past. This direction, it's underneath the pot. It appears about the same profile. That could be the head, part of the head ripped off of the column that went up. It could be part. You know, ghost of Christmas past there. Yep. All right. What do you guys think? Take care. Bye.